Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I am going to do a yarn review of Loop and Threads Abbey yarn. It is a acrylic nylon blend yarn, and we're also going to make this lantern out of this jar. So let's get started. Someone had posted a picture of this online and I was curious, so I went to Michael's and looked. They didn't have it in the store. So I went online. They did have it on their website. You had to buy it in sets of 3. You couldn't just buy one. And so I bought 3 each of these 2 colors. And there's 218 yards. It's 3.5 ounces, 20 meters or 100 grams. It is a worsted weight 4. It is 60% acrylic and 40% nylon. It is very soft. It suggests a J hook. It is very soft. The feeling of the yarn reminds me a lot of, I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby, and I was surprised when I opened it. I thought it was gonna feel a little scratchy, kind of cheap, and no, it's actually very nice, and I was very surprised by it. So I thought I would show you how to make a jar lantern. This is a pattern that I've used for years. I just made it up. I wanted some lanterns outside hanging along my fence in a dark area of my yard, just to lighten it up a little bit when the dog goes out. So let's get started on the lantern. So I'm going to use the English Rose colorway. The other one is called Peony, the one without green. A little brown in this one. But I'm going to use English Rose. Okay, so I use these jars. They are, I believe, Classico spaghetti sauce. And I reuse the jars after we make spaghetti or pasta. And you could use a basic jar, which is about the size of this. This is a plastic one from Michael's, but it's about the size of a normal plastic jar. The ends are pretty close to the same, and I'll show you how to gauge how big you need to make the bottom of the lantern. So if you want to start with a magic circle, go ahead and do that. This is how I make mine. I just make a circle, grab the yarn, hold this over here a bit, and then I'll chain 1 just to secure it. If you do not want to do the magic circle, go ahead and do a slip knot. And then chain 4. And then slip stitch to your first chain, and then we're going to chain 3, and we are going to double crochet. I usually do 10 times in the ring, 10, 11. Let's do 11 double crochets. And our chain 3 will count as a double crochet as well. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do 2 more. 11 and 12. Cinch up your circle and then slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. Now we're just going to double those stitches. We're going to chain 3. We are going to double crochet in the same stitch twice. And we are going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. So 2 double crochets in every single stitch, and I will meet up with you at the end of round 2. Okay, so at the end of round 2, you should have 25 stitches if you include this first chain 3, because we did 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around, and we had 12 to begin with. Now we should have 24 plus 1, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now, if your jar is this small on the bottom, you need to proceed to the next step. My jar, I do not believe, is this small. Let's look. Not quite. We are almost there. I have a curve that needs to go. You can see that. So what I usually do to make it fit the bottom of any jar, it doesn't matter what jar you're using, if you're using a spaghetti jar or if you're using a standard size jar. This one's even bigger. You either, if it's really large, you can do another round of the double crochets, duplicating the same round, just do 2 stitches in each round. Or what I do, since I use these jars for the most part anyway, I'm going to do a round of single crochet, and I'm not going to do 2 stitches in each stitch. I am going to do alternating the stitches so that it doesn't get too large. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet in the next, or in the same stitch, sorry, and then I'm going to put 2 in the next stitch, and then I'm going to do 1 single, 1 single, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets. I'm going to do that all the way around, and this will gradually make the circle a little larger so that it hopefully fits the end of my jar, and I will meet back up with you when I am finished with round 3. So I'm at the end of my round 3. This will be large enough to go onto the bottom of this jar and be a good support for this lantern. I think I'm going to stop there. If you need it larger, you can do an extra row of single crochets if you'd like. It is your call. However, I'm going to stop here and I'll show you what I do. I am going to slip stitch to the top of my, well, to the first single crochet, and then I am going to chain 4. And I am going to skip 1 stitch, and I'm going to double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way around until I get to the beginning of this round. So I will meet back up with you when we get to the end excuse me, of this round 4. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round 4, and I'm hitting it pretty much the way you should. If you are closer than this, it doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. But you're going to slip stitch to your 3rd chain of your first chain 4, and I'll show you what we're doing. So this is the beginning of our base, and our project is going to go around the bottom of our jar so that it can be a lantern. See how that's going to work? Now we're going to continue, and we're going to do the same round as we did in round 4, all the way up. We're going to go all the way up the jar, all the way up to here, so that we can create the lantern, and then at the top we're going to do a hanging chain. So the next round will be the same as the round we just did. So we slip stitch to our chain 3 of our 3rd chain of our chain 4 from the previous round. So we are going to chain 4 again, and we are going to double crochet in the top of our double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1 and double crochet into the top of the double crochet. We are going to do this till we get all the way up our jar. If your jar is shorter, stop when you get to the top rim of your jar. I am going to go until I get to right about here to my jar. That's where I'm going to stop. So I'm going to do all of my rounds all the way up my jar, and I will meet back up with you when I am up here. I just want to point out I'm at the end of my round 5 here. I just want you to make sure that you always chain a 1 at the last double crochet you do, so that when you slip stitch to your 3rd chain of your beginning chain 4, that you still have a nice gap there. See how you still have a gap there? If you didn't, it would start closing in like that, and your work will get smaller and smaller. Okay, so continue on with your chain 4, and then double crocheting into your first, or into the previous double crochet of the previous round. Chain 1 and do a double crochet on the top of your double crochet all the way around until you get to the top of your jar. I have done 10 rounds from the very start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to see if it fits my jar now. So I turn my jar upside down. I just kind of pull it apart a little bit. It's very stretchy. And then I slide it on there. And I decide, if I want to go more or if I want to leave it. And I think I want to leave it because once it's hanging, it's going to come up a little bit more. Now, sometimes I will do a single crochet all the way around, and sometimes I don't. But I'll go ahead and I'll do a single crochet all the way around the top edge to sort of give it some structure. You don't have to do this. Also, if you don't want to do a hang part of this, then you don't have to do that either. You could just leave it sitting on a desk or something. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to put a single crochet in the same stitch, and then I'm going to put a single crochet in each chain 1 space and at the top of each double crochet, and I will meet up with you when I get done with that. Okay, so I'm all the way around. I'm going to slip stitch to this first single crochet, and now I'm going to chain 10. I usually do 10 or 12. Seems a little small. I'm gonna do 12 on this one. Chain 12, and then I'm going to go directly across from where I'm chaining, and I'm going to slip stitch into that side so that it can be hung from that. And then I'm going to snip my yarn, pull through, and I'll show you how it looks. Well, the ends need to be woven in, but it goes on your jar like this. And then we have a hang. I can find it in my, there we go. Then we have a little hang. So it can hang outside or in a bedroom. This is actually really cute colors. This would be cute in a girl's room. And what I do is I take a little LED votive or something and put it in the bottom. I do not burn real candles in these. I always use just the fake candles in these. So yeah, I think these jars make a great little gift. They work up quick. And what I do with the lids to these, they say Classico across the top because it's spaghetti sauce. I usually will paint them white or whatever color coordinates with what yarn I'm using. And I have given them away as gifts, and I think they're charming with a little votive in the bottom. They're very pretty when they're glowing, especially when they're hanging in the yard in the summertime. I really like that effect. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the small yarn review. Again, I don't know if this is available right now. If it is, I will put a link in the description box. And pick some up if you can. It was fairly cheap. I don't remember how much it was per ball, but it was, I want to say between $2 and $3. It wasn't very much. And there's 218 yards in it, acrylic and nylon blend. Very nice yarn. I hope they keep selling it. Don't know why it's clearanced. I don't know why they clearance things because they're perfectly fine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching.